Hey, this is Josie Scott, the former lead singer of Saliva and the current lead singer of my band, Shade Violet. Hit me up on all my socials at josiescottrocks.com, Facebook, Twitter, all of it, Instagram. I'm here to tell y'all, you need to tune in to Inner Demon Radio, where you're going to hear some of the best mainstream unsigned artists anywhere. And the only thing left for you to do now is to look for my new band, Shade Violet, and tune in to Inner Demon Radio and release those inner demons.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Good Wednesday evening. What's going on, Papa?
Enjoying the evening off now.
Off?
A busy day. Yeah.
You got nothing to do all evening long?
Nothing but this.
Yeah. How was your week this week, man?
Opening up, the week was a little bit busy. I wanted to work a little bit extra so that I could have some fun time, have some downtime. And ever since getting my work ahead for the rest of the week, I've been outside for the most part, just hanging out, enjoying the trees and the breeze and the springtime weather.
You got that little canopy. What is that? Like a little tent? What is that called? Hut?
I call it a hut. Yeah. It's just it's a shelter type deal that I use.
Now, is it opened on that one end? Or can you close it?
It's completely closed if you want it, or it's got the door that rolls up, like the flap that you can roll up and tie. And
how often do you sleep with it open?
Pretty much every time, unless it's super, super cold. I've got the door faced to where the wind blows in. That way, when I've got the fire going, the breeze kind of brings some of that heat in, and then it gets trapped up in the top of the shelter and keeps me warm.
Any crazy critters ever crawl up on you when you slept out there with that door open?
Just our two cats.
Just the two cats?
No, Cindy and I slept out there last night, and the cats were hanging out with us. But we heard some coyotes over on the other side of the mountain.
Nice.
It's their denning season. They're very, very active right now.
Yeah, they're just getting out. They're just getting out, ready to explore and shit, looking for some food.
they've all got their pups and they need to feed them. It's when they're weaning them off milk and going to meat. And one single mama coyote will take up to 14 fawn in a denning season
That's crazy. Poor mama.
to
What's
feed the
going
baby.
on, Chris Tallman? How are you doing this evening? Mary Beth, hello. How are you? How are you doing, Ronald? Ron, good to see you, buddy. I hope you've been doing well. How's that book coming along, by the way? He's writing another book. He's got one. I can't remember the name of the book that's out, but he's got one out on Amazon. We need to get him on a show so we can talk about his books and his literature that he's coming out with. Really good stuff. I have not finished it yet. I've been a little bit too busy, but I have read some of them and some of it, and it's really good. Pleasantly surprised. So good evening to everybody. I have had a fun day today, Papa.
Yeah, you were heading out and about today, right?
Yes, Gradual Suicide, Ronald says, is the name of the book. Gradual Suicide is the name. Hello, Misty. Good evening to you. I had a really fun day. Weather's been kind of shaky here off and on, and I recently purchased an electric bike, so a little bit of pedal, a little bit of propulsion going along with that. So I bought one, and I was like, one of my main goals was I wanted to reach where I was at, where I live in Bunker Hill, and I wanted to make a trip to Peru, Indiana, right there on the bridge where Wabash River is at. So today was kind of like my test run to see how far this bike can take me. And it's like a 13 mile round trip on the bike, and I pulled that off today. And during the trip, I took video footage of where I was going, things that I've seen, some pictures I took, because I slightly went off the beaten trail a little bit here and there. But my main goal today was just see if I could make it from point A to point B, and then from point B back to point A. And I pulled that off today. So I'm happy camper. Just able to get out, enjoy a nice, sunny, no clouds in the sky, 80-degree day. Fucking just an amazing little ride. Felt good to get out.
I think we only got up to 68 here, but it was so nice. We didn't have much of a winter, but it was cold and gray and cloudy the whole time. So this shift over to spring that's finally happened has been very, very nice. Very welcome.
I'm still expecting a cold snap still. I'm expecting one more cold spell before this spring officially kicks off. I could be wrong. What's going on, Matt? Good to see you guys. Mary Beth says, I'm not ready for this shit weather. I'm ready. I'm fine with like 80 degrees or below. The mid 80s I can handle a little bit, but I get close to that 90s and I'm done. I'm in the house.
We don't get really much above 83, 85 here because the elevation. So our summertime is right in that sweet spot, not too hot. Good stuff.
So I figured before we start the show today, I figured I put together some pictures and some videos that I've took of me riding this trail today. And I thought, what's going on, Heathen? Good to see you.
That's my buddy Rick, my brother.
What's going on, Rick? That says fuck anything over 75. I mean, I could go with that too, I guess. But I did put together some footage, a video, and so I'm going to share this. It's like 8 minutes long, but so it's going to kind of cover, because normally we do songs during these shows. We kind of take song breaks, but since it's an 8 minute long, I'll put 2 songs together to make this video. So we're going to start the show off with that. Just because I want to share it with everybody, and plus I like showing off my talents of video editing. You ready to do it? And then when we come back from the video, what's tonight's show about, Papa?
Just talking to folks about, and you and myself, did you find your faith or did your faith find you? So many people that I've talked to over the years talk about coming into their faith as sort of a coming home. Some have experienced finding their faith through the loss of a loved one or a rejection from the faith that they were currently in. So we'll be talking a little bit about that and what makes
an interesting show. I think it's a good topic, Papa, and I think it's going to be an interesting show because we'll dive deep into it. What we're going to do now, though, is we're going to play this quick video I'm going to share my experience with you guys and see if you can and share some of where places I've been to. Man, I tell you what, it was such a great trip. Had so much fun doing it. It was nice just to get out and in the quiet and peace and nothing around you but trees and road and water. We'll be right back, guys. Enjoy the video. What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. I thought I'd share some video of me going out here on my bike ride today. Never explored this area here on northern part of Indiana. I'm in the Bunker Hill, Peru, Wabash River area, and they have this really, really long trail. Today's trail was going to take us about six and a half miles, and I thought I'd take you guys on part of this journey with me. Show you some of the things that I'm coming across as I'm running this trail. Doing a little bit of exploring. My final destination is Wabash River in Peru. You guys are coming with me. Enjoy the scenery, enjoy the views, because I am enjoying it over here. Hope you guys are having a kick-ass day.
There's no blood, there's no alibi, 'cause I've drawn regret from the truth of 1,000 lies. So let mercy come and wash away what I've done. I've faced myself to cross out what I've become, erase myself and let go of what I've done. Put to rest what you thought of me, while I clean this slate with the hands of uncertainty. So let mercy come and wash away what I've done. I've faced myself to cross out what I've become, erase myself and let go of what I've done. I start again, and whatever pain may come, today this ends. I'm forgiving what I've done. I'll face myself to cross out what I've become, erase myself and let go of what I've done. What I've done. I'm forgiving what I've
that joins this earth, and quickly he's subdued. Through constant pain, disgrace, the young boy learns their rules. With time the child draws in, this whipping boy done wrong, deprived of all his thoughts. The young man struggles on and on. He's known a vow until his own, that never from this day his will they'll take away. What I felt, what I've known, never shine through what I've shown. Never be, never see, won't see what might have been. What I felt, what I've known, never shine through on what I've shown. Never free, never me, so I dub the unforgiven. They dedicate their life to running all the things. He tries to please them all, this bitter man he is. Throughout his life the same, he's battled constantly. This fight he cannot win. A tired man they see no longer. The old man then prepares to die regretfully. That old man here is me. Lo que sentí y conocí, lo oculté y no lo demostré. No me atreví, nunca fui quien pude ser. Lo que sentí y conocí, lo oculté, no lo demostré. Me miro hoy y lo que soy es imperdonable. That old man here is me. What I felt, what I've known, never shine through in what I've shown. Never be, never see, won't see what might have been. Lo que sentí y conocí, lo oculté, no lo demostré. Me miro hoy y lo que soy es imperdonable. Never free, never me, so I dub the unforgiven.
Ta-da, that was my trip.
Good stuff.
That was a fun trip. That was a much needed trip. And the editing was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad I took that trip because I learned a little bit about that blue bridge that everybody sees there. There was along in the 1800s. I told you the story prior to the show, but during the 1800s, they built this steam engine railroad track for the steam engine trains. And they built a temporary bridge to cross over from where I was at over to Peru. And they did the first run of the train, and the train derailed as soon as it hit the bridge, and it demolished the bridge. The train went off the bridge, landed into the freezing water, and it killed like all 12 people that was on there was 13 altogether, but one person survived, but he ended up getting scalded from the steam. When it exploded, the steam got all over his body, and I think he ended up dying a few months after everybody else did. But it's a cool little piece of history. So I bet, because Mary Beth said something about ghost hunting. I should have brought my ghost hunting equipment. That's my next point. I think that place might be a good spot to do one. Okay.
Absolutely.
Shai goes, well, that's depressing. Thanks for that. Well,
Everywhere in the world's got a history. It really does. And death is part of that history. I don't think there's going to be too many places that you could step foot on this planet where death hasn't occurred or life hasn't occurred.
That's true. I don't think there's a place you ain't going to go. You can't even go into a porta-john where somebody has not been in or maybe have died in. Just
Well,
saying.
even think about things like Antarctica. More and more, as things are melting and showing a little bit, they're finding evidences that it was once a very habitable place, not this frozen polar cap that we know it now. So yeah.
So that video seemed a little sad. I wasn't intending to be sad. I mean, maybe it was unintentional. I don't know. I'm a sad person. I'm really just a sad person. Not really. I had a fucking blast today, though. Anyway, let's talk about tonight. The show with this faith that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wanted to talk a little bit with people and with you, and also hear back from people. I love to hear people's stories, how they came about their path and their practice. And as our host, I can start with you.
Me?
Did you find your faith, or did your faith find you?
It was a road that I had to travel to get to. It wasn't something that was handed to me, or there was an epiphany, or there wasn't a defining moment that tilted me. I think it was more of a gradual thing for me to build up to where I'm at today, I believe. For me. Now, some people might have those epiphanies and those light bulb moments where, oh, this is the path I want to take. For me, it was more of a journey. It was a journey of lessons I had to learn in life. Was I ready for what in my younger days? Was I ready for where I'm at today? No. I was really wild. I was just music oriented. I was playing in bands, doing this and that. I was in a different place in that. So it was more of a build up to where I'm at today.
I think Mary Beth really hit it here. And what I was going for tonight, I think she said it better in her reply than I delivered in introducing the topic. Faith walked out the door for me. A lot of people, I hear that too, that you lost your faith. And so you started exploring other faiths, other belief systems. Something happens and you find out that it's not all that you've been told, or you've been led to believe something that wasn't actually there.
With me, I struggle with some main things. When a lot of people, I'm sure out here, will struggle with this as well. When you say the word faith, it almost attaches itself to Christianity and God. You have to have, almost to that point. You know what I mean? With certain people that's not familiar with paganism and or heathenry and all that, or witchcraft or Wicca, when you hear faith, sometimes it attaches itself to God or Christianity. I like what Francis said here. It's a trigger word. It's a trigger word.
Yeah.
And for me, it wasn't that I found faith. I didn't find faith in gods or God. I didn't find faith in certain religion or a certain belief. I found faith in myself. I believed in the unknown, if that makes it right. Faith is something you believe in, something that's unknown. Like when you attach faith to God, you're having faith in something you have not seen or have not done or have not touched, and it's not kind of reality, right? Well, that's how it kind of was with me. I had to learn to have faith in myself and my abilities, and faith that this is the right path that I need to be walking on. Now, whether that path is in traditional paganism, Norse paganism, or Wicca or witchcraft, it's been numerous things in my life, all the way from Christianity. I was going to be a youth minister all the way to what I'm doing today. But during that whole process, that faith factor was me believing in myself, the unknown, that I'm able to accomplish these certain goals in my life.
I'm sorry. I'm having a very, very hard time imagining you as a youth minister.
Yeah, I was.
Um, for myself and a lot of other people, you're talking about that faith in something that you can't see, that you can't touch, that faith in God or gods or goddesses or something otherworldly, spiritual that isn't tangible. But a lot of people find faith in the spirit and the magic and the energy and the workings of things that are tangible. We come back to animism with this. Um, Everything around you, the trees, the bees, the flowers, the water, the wind. Um,
We
it's
have faith in reality.
all
We have
bigger than
faith
we are.
I have faith in reality and faith in the now. I have faith that everything's going to work itself. I believe that these things. I have faith that when I quit my job, I there's a good example, short story. I had faith in what I was to do in life. I had a full-time job. I was a foreman at a machine shop. I ran lines. I painted motors. I took a leap of faith in myself and what I'm doing, like the radio shows and these shows and Interdemon Media. I quit my job, 20 plus something dollars an hour, and I said, you know what? I believe that this is going to. I have faith that this is going to what I'm supposed to be doing, and I dropped it all and went with it. And faith can be a scary fucking thing.
Mhm. It's that leap of faith.
It's really scary taking that, believing in something higher than you to achieve your goals. And I just never been the one to turn to God or gods. I always turn to myself. Sid, you can do this. You don't need anything else to help you through this. You've always done it on your own. You just don't realize that you've been doing it on those because you always turned to something else. You always turn to a god or gods or goddesses. Believe in yourself. I have faith in myself that I can fucking pull it off.
In my personal practice, I really do believe that a lot of what our ancestors were getting at when they would name deity is that it was something bigger than us. But as human beings, we want to categorize everything. We want to put it in a box. We want to label it. We want to give it a name. We want to know about it, know what it is, something to call it. So when we would see things bigger than us, love, for example, in Norse paganism, it's Freya. The Greeks or the Romans, Aphrodite. Love is bigger than who we are as an individual because it's something that takes more than just yourself. You can love yourself, but you really experience love through community, through partnerships, relationships. So love is something bigger than who we are by ourselves alone. That's very respectable. It's very admirable. So we had to give it a name. We wanted to worship that idea. We wanted to be able to invite that into our lives. If we don't give it a name, we can't invite it. We can't make offerings to receive it.
That's it. You can't pull from it if you don't title it or label it.
So we want to name these things. We named them gods and goddesses. And then religious wars started because somebody had a different name than the other name and didn't practice exactly the same way as the other person, but pretty much round about the same thing was happening.
I like that. Let's get some comments.
Yeah.
Mary Beth says, I'll stick to what I always say. I believe in nature. I believe in an afterlife or ghosts, whatever, but only because of my personal experiences. How it's possible, couldn't tell you. Then with some of those some of those things that you just cannot explain, you have to kind of live by faith that there is something else out there at the end of your cycle. Astrid says, I found my path accidentally. I was busy living life and it just snuck up on me. I have been a witch since my teens, but only recently found heathenism. And that's the beauty of, I think, witchcraft, right? It's a craft. That key word in the witchcraft, it's something that you're able to build that suits you. And that's the beauty of it. You can go from traditional witchcraft to heathenism, and it's all connected in some shape or form. And that's part of our growth. We evolve, and I know I sure have. Astrid says self-love is a huge part of faith. Boom. Francis, strength in numbers. Ron says, my belief is self-proclaimed humanism. That says treat humans as they are your children. I love that.
I do
People like a
too.
little bit of kindness.
That the kindness and also the teaching. If you have lived and experienced life to a point that you've learned some shit and you can share that experience and learning with people who haven't got there yet and give them a heads up about what's coming, do that. Share your knowledge, share your learning. Not everybody's going to want to hear it, but somebody out there is going to hear it, and it's going to help them a whole lot.
A ton. Shia says, and what Shia from Shia and the Old Wolf, they air their shows here on Inner Demon Media as well. They do lots of things. So pay attention to the page because they got a lot of stuff going. The oracle readings, they got mentorship going on. We got ads all for that stuff that we're going to air tonight for them. But Shia says the word faith has been weaponized by church to suit them, in my humble opinion. I have to disagree. It's not the church, it's not the Bible, it's not Christianity. It's the people who take the words and weaponize them. It's not the belief, it's not the faith, it's not the Christian title. It's the people who misinterpret the Bible. In my humble opinion, it's the people who misinterpret the Bible and then preach their misinterpretations and turns these certain words into weapons. That's just me, though.
There's a lot of that happens, and it's been happening for a long time.
It really has. Francis says, having a face on things allows us to use and manifest with it. It gives us that another connection point, right? We can think about an object, but it's there's a different feel and energy exchange when you got that. Like for my amethyst, if I'm wanting to open my third eye, it sure helps an awful lot to have it in my hand than just sitting there staring at it, right?
Then with the gods and goddesses, we have paintings of them. We have statues of them. People have carved them. They've put them in wood. And I guess the word that I'm looking for is personify. We personify the deities to make them more
likable
and to develop that relationship with them.
It says here, Francis says the old systems are falling apart as they don't work for most people anymore. That is so true. That's why I don't mess around with it. And I've been shit talked down to and booted out of groups because I've been called too modern era. That I'm my way of practicing witchcraft is not the traditional way. I'm too new age, and I'm just like, you know what? For some people, the old ways work well, and they get what they need out of it spiritually. Then there's some people that have to put a modern twist to it to make it, like Francis just said here, relatable. And that's what I try to do a little bit. And you're right, labels do suck, Astrid. They really do.
To make it relatable and relevant. Times have changed, technology has changed, and so you have to be relevant. So a lot of what we used to read in books, we're reading online now. And I want to jump back to Mary Beth real quick on that topic. How do you do it when you're camera shy? How do you share your experiences and your knowledge and help people out? If you're camera shy, you can write about it. Sure. You don't have to be on camera to write. You can blog. You can do poetry.
And there's no one out there that says that you have to share. You don't have to share anything. You don't have to. It could be all personal and private. You don't have to put anything out on social media, which is another good point. We're going to touch on too. By the way, Papa, is that how true are you? If you say that you found, now I'm not questioning you. I don't want you to this question and say, hey, I'm questioning you. But anybody out there that since times have changed, and a lot of the traditional ways don't work for a lot of people, and there's that new age element of technology and this and that, and groups that follow this and groups that follow that. How authentic are you about your belief or your walk in life or your path? Are you just one of those people out there that just take pictures and look the look? Did you learn, like you said earlier before the show, did you get on YouTube and watch somebody, or you watch and listen to somebody tell you what to believe in?
Your faith and your belief, as with anybody else who takes it seriously, is something that is almost paramount in your life. So if you're basing your faith or your belief system off of watching a content creator or a social media personality, and that's the most of it, then you really do have to ask yourself, how authentic are you being? Is this really your path, or are you just parroting what you've been told, what you've seen someone else do? Do you understand why you're doing what you're doing? You saw a video of someone doing a ritual or a ceremony, and it looks great and it seems very spiritually fulfilling. So you want to mimic that, you want to replicate that for yourself. But do you know why it's happening? Do you understand? Or are you just copying it in hopes of getting that same feeling?
It's a very dangerous and fine line to walk when you place your belief system and where your path is on an individual that you're watching on YouTube. Because let's be real, then these are normal everyday people just like you or I that get on here and do this kind of content. That being said, putting your faith into certain people or person can be very dangerous, because you can watch these people rise and you can watch these people fall, and your expectations and your thoughts about who these people were all of a sudden is shattered into 1,000 pieces. And here you are with your faith and your belief system lying on the floor in those 1,000 pieces, and you're wondering yourself, do I even want to pick these pieces up? I've seen what the guy I watched, or that female that I watched on YouTube, I've seen her build her empire, but I also seen that thing come crashing down too. Is that the life I want? And that's where it becomes very dangerous, right?
And real quick, I want to hit back on the other side too. Some people do have to almost live a double life. It may look inauthentic to outsiders because they see this person at work and then they see them posting some things on social media or sharing things wherever. But because of the society that we live in and how frowned upon pagan practices and our connections with the major world religions, most people's whole family is going to be Christian or Jewish or whatever. So a lot of people can't be who they want to be, who they feel they should be all the time.
And
You
I
can't.
get that too.
Some people can't talk about their faith or beliefs at work because they'll get in trouble at work. They'll get flack for it. They'll get flack from their family. I know many people who have been absolutely disowned by their family just for believing differently, deciding, you know what, Christianity is not the path for me. It's not working for me. So I'm going to explore paganism and other spiritual paths, and they get cut off. So that fear is there. It's real. The damage, the hurt is real. So people do, in a way, have to kind of live a double life in certain situations. And I get that.
Let's get to some comments here, Papa. Ronald says, with my experiences with the church and religion as a whole, failed its followers by becoming more political than staying focused on the divine. I can agree with that. I can agree with
The politics and the money.
And the money. But
it's the drive for money, the wealth, the building.
It's the power of manipulation, I think, is what these pastors live off of and thrive off. They get up on stage and they preach the word to you, the Bible to you, and it becomes a monopoly game of your mind where they feel that their true power is the Bible, and they use that Bible as a tool to weaponize individuals that believe there's only one way of life. They don't want to have that open mind or that free will thinking at all.
Yeah, that reminds me of what we were talking about earlier with believing in the spirits and nature and trees. But as a Christian person, that's frowned upon. You can't do that because it's one of the 10 commandments: do not place another idol before me, your God. You can't do that so people aren't allowed to experience nature the same way as pagans do in a Christian walk of life. You can still love the sunshine, but you can't really get into it the same as pagans.
And there again, this is why I love this show. But here again is where I'll disagree with you. Once again, I don't feel, I feel that the Bible can be misinterpreted. I feel like at times that people take it to, not saying you and not pointing out you directly, but in general, it gets misinterpreted and taught in the wrong ways. God created this earth, in my mind. God created this earth for us to, and He knows when He made us, right? If according to the Bible, He made us in His mold. He knows when we're into this world. He knows our flaws, right? According to the Bible, right? He knows everything about us. He knows all of our. He made us imperfect, right? According to the Bible. So my thoughts on it at times is, and I'm in the likeness of God. Therefore, I am God. And if I am God, I'm okay with my flaws. I don't have to sit here and apologize every 5 words when I say fuck or damn. Oh my goodness, I sinned. You already know how I am, bro. Why?
Well, guess what?
There's
If
no need
God
for me to
made us
change.
in His likeness and we have imperfections, then that is God admitting that He is also imperfect.
That's it. That's it. We wasn't made perfect. We wasn't designed perfect. He's not perfect. We're in the likeness of Him. Why do people have to? That's what kills me, is that people, I think a lot of people misinterpret the Bible. It's just simple translations. You know, if I'm the likeness of God, then God must be imperfect like me. So why am I always running in fear or always cowering when I've done something wrong? Who are you to tell me that I'm going to go to hell or heaven? You can't tell
We
me
have
that.
the same thing, but probably 10 times worse in Norse paganism with mistranslations, because all of our texts come from Old Norse that were then translated to Latin at the time, because of the Christianization of Scandinavia, and then translated from Latin into German and French and Old English or Anglo-Saxon or whatever, all these other languages, and then retranslated, and then somebody else got a hold of it and did their version of it. So what we're reading now, it's like that game. Do you remember playing that game whenever you got in a group of people, or even in school, where someone tells you a small sentence and whispers it, and then you tell the next person, then they tell the next person. By the time it gets to the last person, it's nothing even fucking close to the first thing that was said. That's what we're reading and saying, this is what I believe.
What
It's
really?
not even close.
It's not even. It's like nowhere near the original translation. And I think what nowadays, I think that's a lot of the issues is the translations that people or the teachings of the Bible. The Bible's not a bad thing. Just like you get all these witchy books and all this other stuff out there in the community as well are good books. They're tools for life that help guide you in certain situations. No different than any other religion, any other belief. But there's this sense of freedom when it comes to paganism that always attracted me, the ability to construct my own belief and my own system that works well for me. Now, am I a person that's a God-fearing person? No. Am I a guy that reads the Bible all the time? No. But I'm not going to be that guy that's going to sit there and bash and beat up Christianity just because a few people out in that community has mistranslated scriptures, which I'll also add can also happen in the pagan community as well.
Oh, yeah. The example that I just gave, it's rampant in Norse paganism. Mistranslations and people that call themselves Reconstructionists, but some base their whole thing off of what we have in text. But that text is a far, far truth from what was originally written. We're told before the runes or the first runic alphabet came around, these stories were passed down orally, just like every other old culture and community. And that's why we call it mythology.
I will even go one step farther in this conversation. Some of you guys will probably think I'm crazy.
I'm trying to piss off as many people as possible.
You guys might think I'm crazy, or might think some of my thoughts are off the wall out there, and that's okay. These are my thoughts, and I have this show for me to be able to express my thoughts. When it comes to, I forgot what the hell my thought was now. I done lost it. That's what I get for getting stoned. Damn it, Papa. It'll come to me. Sid, we already know you're crazy. You don't even know the half of it yet, Misty. You don't even know the half of it yet.
That's why I get on a show with him, so that way I look like the sane one.
I totally forgot what I was even going to say. It was really important too. Let's get to some Jesus. Let's see what some of these comments here. What's funny is in the 1400s they canonized the Bible and then added conclusion of don't change this anymore, you'll go to hell. But they made massive changes prior to canonization, including removing complete gospels from people's alive with Jesus and placing them with gospels written by third parties 50 years after the death of Jesus. The moral of the story is, tonight's topic is about, are you living your truth? Are you living your faith? I guess the boils down to is that myself, and I could probably speak for Papa, we don't give a shit. We don't give a flying monkey's ass or a donkey's ball slapping you on the chin what you believe in or what path you follow. What we want is that that authentic self of you. Are you living what you say you're living? Are you just portraying this picture of someone else? I'm going to dress like it because he looks cool. I'm going to dress like Papa tomorrow because I like those two beads coming off his beard.
Like donkey balls.
Or are you being your true self? It prevents the donkey balls from hitting him on the chin.
Donkey ball blockers.
Let's see here. You're damn sure ain't sane. Well, I mean, I'll take that as a compliment. Neither of you look sane. Neither of us look sane. I'll take it as a compliment too. History has shown us that every cultural belief system was built off a previous system. That is true.
Yeah.
Was referring to the telephone game Papa was talking about. Yeah, that's kind of I get what you're saying. We call it the grapevine. You go in one ear, and by the time it gets down the end of the line, it's a totally different story, totally different outcome, totally different beginning. It was just totally different.
And that's how it all started. That's how it all started. Sitting around a campfire, somebody told somebody else the story.
I remember now.
Get it.
I remember.
You forget again.
I'll go even one farther. When we talk about old and ancient languages, I truly believe, I think, or possibility, my opinion, that like Pentecostals, they speak in tongues. I think that was an old language at one point in time. Back when we were still not knowing how to speak or put syllables together or created words, it was all noises, frequencies, grunts, like oh. And then as that progressed on, they started like rolling their tongues and jumbling words together until things were created.
I see. I've experienced it. I've been to a Pentecostal church a few times, and
now, do I believe that happens like that at a church? No, but I do believe. I think maybe at one point in time there may have been a language that was similar to that.
well, I've seen it. I've experienced it, but I also believe that there's a lot of competition in the Christian church. Everybody wants to be more faithful than the other. Everybody wants to be more touched, more
My
in the
suit's
spirit,
better than yours. My Bible's got a leather
more
cover.
in the spirit than any other. So a lot of times I think that people will put on that show. But on the real, speaking in tongues, I think is an absolutely spiritual experience. And some people may like her, some people may not. But an example is from Dead Can Dance, Lisa Gerard. Most of her music and her vocals and lyrics are a language of her own that she said came to her at an early age. In childhood, it was a language that she was taught by who she calls God. So when you hear her singing in that other language, it's not a language that you can look up. It sounds very Hebrew at times.
Like
Arabic.
Yeah,
time.
like an old Sumerian language type of deal.
But
It
this
just
is
feels old.
it's a language that she says that was gifted to her and given to her by God, and that's what she sings in. And so I do think there is something to that spirit language, um, words and sounds.
I was warm. See, wasn't totally stupid. Mary Beth's got a question here. What are both of your feelings on the afterlife versus religion's idea of it? I'll let you start that, Papa.
Mine's way out there. Maybe not. It depends on the viewership, I guess. We're all energy. We're absolutely energy. So our physical energy, when we pass, when our physical life is done, is intended to go back to the earth, just like anything else. Anything else that dies, a bird falls out of the sky, it lands on the ground, it's ate up by the worms, it goes back into the earth as energy and it provides nutrients to everything else and life to everything else. I believe that's the intention for our bodies when our physical life is over. But we've come away from that. We've started putting ourselves in coffins and vaults and concrete and denying the earth that return of energy, that gift back, even though we've taken so much throughout our life to give us life. As far as our spirit, I believe that our spirit is also an energy, but it transcends the physical and goes into um, the universe itself, the cosmos. And there are places there where all those other energies are, and we can communicate and connect and be and exist in energy without a physical body. There's a spiritual consciousness that I believe, and that's the afterlife. I'll see all those connections and feel all those connections and be able to communicate with those connections that I've known throughout my life that are present there now when I pass.
I'm always torn with this question. I always am, because there's parts of me that want to say yes, because through my paranormal experiences, I've experienced certain things that makes me lead to believe that there is life after death. But then there's a part of me that says live this life the best that you can, the happiest you can, and find that peace that you can find in your life now, because there may not be that second shot at doing it, like in reincarnation or something like that. That's just I'm torn with it. There's so many different so many different beliefs in the afterlife that people believe in, and just for me personally, I'm just so torn with it. Yes, we have this energy that we have here. Our body works on this energy, but part of me feels like when you pass away, and you live this life to the fullest as you possibly can. And or there's a possibility that there is life. We just don't know. And I think I love the fact, for me, that I don't know. And I love the fact that I've never really challenged the ideas, because I really don't want to know. I'm just going to take it day by day, try to live the best that I can today. If I make it tomorrow, that's another blessing. Another day I get to be with my kids and my wife and be here with the community as well. So it's a tough one for me. It's a tough one to say, there's a life after death.
I like that you said that, though. Like, you don't know if you can think about that. I think with people as ourselves, we have capacities for what we can think and what we can understand, and it's based on our experiences. When you see something for the first time, just seconds before that, you didn't think that it was possible.
I really like what let me get to a couple of these comments here. Misty says, "Oh, there's a ton of people like that in church that speak in tongues. Certain denominations they are, especially Pentecostals, are the ones that are really known to speak in tongues. I don't know what it is. Maybe it just I don't get what the difference is for like the Baptist versus the Pentecost when it comes to the ability to be blessed with the gift of speaking in tongues." Because not everybody can do it, not everybody can do it, and it only seems like one denomination can, and that's the Pentecostals. It's so strange.
And
It could be a universal gift for any
in
religion.
Appalachia, we call them holy rollers.
Holy roller, Bible thumpers, the snake
Because
charmers.
they'll roll on the floor. They roll on the floor. It looks like somebody's having a seizure.
Shia says, I've done it. It's a valid thing for many, even outside Christianity, but with all things it can be, it has been weaponized or used inauthentically. 100% agree. Papa, here's a question for you. Papa, what have you experienced as the biggest challenge in teaching your children your belief system?
I haven't met a whole lot of challenges. My kids have grown up with me and in the house and experienced everything that I do in my practice and live. I think the hardest thing that I've had to teach my children, period, though, is the expectation of cruelty in the world.
That's a tough one.
That no matter how authentic you want to be or how true to yourself, that there are going to be assholes out there, people who are shitty, people who are rude. And it's nothing really against you. They don't really feel that way against you. They're just unhappy themselves. I've never met a happy person who is happy with themselves or with their life going around being rude or shitty to other people.
No,
it's not a thing. So if more people can start to be true and authentic to themselves, happy with themselves and their life and their path and their spirit, and then that definitely makes the world a better place for everybody.
Shia says, even if you do believe in reincarnation, still live as best as you can because you only have this experience once. Next time will be a whole different thing.
You don't know what you're going to come back as if you are reincarnated.
It's just the big unknown for me. I like not knowing. I like surprises, I guess. I mean, I know it sounds fucking stupid, but I don't want to know what life is like after. There's parts of me that doesn't want to be live after this. I don't want to be stuck in a realm where I'm seeing the living walk around me and I can't communicate but knock on a wall or shut a door. Fuck that. Fuck that.
For me, that idea is you're in a place that is even better. You're on an energy network where you're experiencing things on such a level that you don't feel bad for not being able to communicate with the physical being still living in that same regular way that you're used to, but you feel bad for them because of that lower level that we're on while we're, for lack of a better term, trapped in our physical vessels.
I mean, if there is this gorgeous divine thing after life, after we pass, I would sure welcome it. But there's still part of me that feels like, it's part of life cycles. We were born, we live, and we die. End of cycle. A tree grows its leaves. The leaves turn green. The leaves turn brown. They fall to the ground. They die. They don't go to for me, they don't go to a different realm. They don't go to an afterlife. They fall to the ground. They deteriorate and they go into the ground. Kind of like we do. We live, we born,
Their
we
energy
live.
is transferred. Their energy is transferred as it decays, and it's ate up by everything under it.
We're
The
giving
bug,
back
the rest of
to
the
the
ground,
life
the
that
rest
was
of
given to
everything else.
us. And then that's just
Energy
it.
is not created or destroyed, it's transferred.
Like
And in one of those transferences, like the afterlife, you can literally get a taste of what it's like to be connected to that energy network. I'll put it in regular terms. There's a difference in how it feels when you connect with a group of people who are having a great time. The energy is good. The energy is high. It's great. You know what it's like to go into a group or a crowd of people who are upset or angry. It's the difference in attending a wedding or attending a funeral. You tap into an energy network. One is good, one is bad, whatever. I'm not talking heaven and hell in that. But in a larger energy network where there is no such thing as bad, it just is. It's life.
that's what we're living right now is life.
You can literally get a taste of that by eating some certain things that are part of that energy network on Earth, growing from the Earth right now.
I've had a few of those few of those type of experiences, and they've always been fun.
You feel that energy network.
You're connected. It seemed like you were
You're
connected at a deeper
you
level.
take it in and you taste it and you experience it.
I like what Ron says right here. I'm hopeful that some people will be reincarnated as a toilet seat. And it's our turn to take to shit on the rude people.
That, or if you have to be organic, that somebody comes back as a blade of grass in somebody's backyard with a bunch of dogs.
I'm gonna be like a, and this happens to be the yard that you're part of is my yard, and I got a 100-pound dog that shits like a horse. And then when you think about this, when you change dog food, he's got the runs, and it's the size of a horse.
And that'll sit there until the next rain. So it could be 10, 12 days that you're just under shit.
The moral of tonight's show, guys, is really basically in a nutshell: be true to who you are as an individual. Nobody is out there. There's nobody out there that's going to tell you how to live your life. Nobody's going to tell you what to believe in your life. It's entirely in the ball's entirely in your hands, right, Papa? The ball it's your choices of what you want to do with your life. Simply put, books help, people help, but at the end of the day, it's still your choice and what you want to believe. So be your authentic self. You don't have to believe in anything at all. You could be just you living life, being kind to others out here in the world. We don't care. We just want you to be happy and true and more connected with who you are as an individual.
And like Mary Beth was saying, sometimes things are shitty, and that's good to believe that because it's the fucking truth. People can be shitty. People can be rude. People can be cruel. So believe that because it's real.
It's reality.
But also believe the rest of what's real and that there are people that are good and
there's
genuine
people that are bad,
and caring and kind and loving. It's all
good,
part of it.
It's all part of we have the good, the bad, and it's up to us how we navigate our lives and how we feel our lives are, how we live in our lives authentically. We got Mary Beth here in the comments. Both of you helped me in my life. Sid and Papa, thank you. Makes me feel not so alone. Well, I'm glad to hear that. That made my night right there. Thank you, Mary Beth. Francis says here, unless it carries over onto others, that's where we have to sometimes draw the lines. And it's true. We have to respect. Well, I'll say this 1,000 times in these shows. It all boils down to respect. I respect Papa as an individual. I don't stop and this is going to sound fucked up, but let me put this the best way I can.
Just say it.
I respect Papa more as an individual than I respect Papa, the guy who is the shaman and does all the stuff that he does, because I know that the real person is authentic. And I'm not saying nothing that you're doing. I like the human being side of Papa. The other stuff that comes along with it, it's like icing on the cake, so to speak.
Well, it's like
it just adds to it.
That's my feathers, because it's the real authentic person that is practicing this way and crafting this way.
We live in two different worlds, me and Papa, but we've somehow managed almost in a year to find common ground. And we found out that through both of us, with common respect, because I'm completely different side of the spectrum than what Papa is, but we have found common ground in our belief systems and what we believe in, that we respect each other's opinions and we respect each other's paths. Now, I do favor what Papa does. I am sort of sometimes in a sway to the Norse pagan side of things, but that doesn't define me. I don't put myself in that label box. I'm a believer that the world supplies so much magic, and a lot of the times I don't need a path or a certain walk to prove that to me. I see it around me all the time. I enjoy the magic of life. I enjoy the magic of waking up in the morning, getting off of bed, going to take that morning piss, and being able to take that morning piss. There's little things like that I feel are really powerful things in magic that we often look past and don't look at. But that's just me. I find the little things like taking a poop. A lot of people can't take a poop. They have to have a catheter next to them. And I know it sounds gross and that sounds funny, but there's so many things that we're able to do, myself, Papa, that a lot of people out there can't do. And so I take the human elements and create this magic through visuals and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we respect each other's beliefs. Even though we're at different spectrums at times, we respect each other as human beings, and that's really, really important. And that should be taken away from anybody out there. Respect one another. It's important.
Common courtesy and mutual respect go a long way.
Live however you want to live.
That's the thing that I'm on the most. Life is so fucking short. If you spend your entire life living by what's socially acceptable at the time, or what fashion trend, or to talk this way, or to be into this show,
you live in someone else's opinion. You live on
life is too short for that to not be yourself. You're going to wear yourself out trying to make everyone else happy with who you are by doing that, and you're not going to enjoy it. You're going to be on your deathbed with so many regrets that you're ready to die. You're not going to be thinking, what else could I do? What more could I do? You're going to be thinking, why did I do this? Why did I buy into this? Why did I live so much of my life trying to be something that I'm not to make everyone else happy? What the fuck is going to matter to you in the last 60 seconds of your life?
Know your fucking worth. Don't live your life on someone else's opinion of how much you're worth. Live your life what you think you are worth. Somebody can tell you, I don't like your content, and it's not worth 2 cents a pot of piss in. But if it means $1 million to you, that's all that fucking matters. Who cares what other people look? If I cared what everybody thought about me, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. I would have run, hid in a corner somewhere, and never come back out of social media. But I don't define my life by other people's opinions of whether or not they like what I'm saying, like what I'm doing. I'm trying to live in the best authentic life that I can live. My path is mine. It's not yours. It's not theirs. It's nobody's but yourself. Live it to the fullest. If you're a person that likes to go out there and do content on YouTube and spreading the word, be authentic about it. Are you living that life, or are you just living? Are you just living on repeat? Are you just repeating what other people say? And it sounds good, so I'm going to say it myself.
If just people don't like what you're doing, that's their opinion. But it's still up to you whether or not you value their opinion.
That's it.
And it's happening far too much in the social media personality and content creator community that people want to value everyone's opinion. But does it really? Do you really value their opinion? And if you do, why? Why do you give a shit about what this person who you have never met, who you have never talked to, who you will never meet, you will never speak with in your entire life? Why do you give a shit about what they think about what you're doing? They're not a professional critic. You're not out here in a restaurant trying to pass off the world's best meal. You're living your life. So when someone has a shitty opinion about how you're living your life, if you're being good, being authentic, being true, I'm not talking about doing shitty stuff, but if someone has a shitty opinion about you, why do you care?
Don't. You'll tell yourself down quicker than you built yourself up if you cared what everybody said about you. It could take you years to build what you've done up. It can only take 5 minutes if you listen to everybody's opinions to tear it all back down.
Think about the lack of music we would have if bands and musicians and artists listened to other
every
people.
Fucking critic that was out there, right? We wouldn't have any bands out there.
We wouldn't have any music. We wouldn't have any art. We wouldn't have any poetry. We wouldn't have any books to read.
Nothing. Well, guys, we are going to hop off here tonight. We went a little bit over, so thank you guys for hanging out with us a little bit over our time. We usually do an hour, but we're a little bit over. Great topic tonight, by the way, Papa. I had nothing planned. I got a hold of Papa before I went on my trip this morning. I was like, Papa, we need a show idea tonight. And I'm glad that Papa was really quick-witted and came up with something really fast. It was a great topic and great show. Thank you, Shia. It was. I had a great. This was a great topic.
It was fun.
So what do I got going on this weekend? I got a 3-day weekend of shows. I didn't realize that I booked 4 shows this week. This one, and then I got one coming up this Friday, which is they're a band. They're practicing witches, and they're going to be on the show. They're called Bonded by Darkness. That's going to be Friday night. Their lyrics, their videos, everything is done match with spells and incantations and this and that. So the band's really cool. I played them few times on the radio show. I got them coming on Friday on Talking with Demons. Saturday we got the Hangovers, another 8 p.m. show here, Talking with Demons. And then Sunday that end the weekend off. Why did I do this to myself? I don't know. But we got Sunday night, Eternal Frequency. So we got a great lineup of shows for you guys this weekend. Not only them shows, but my radio shows and all the DJs that are doing their live shows on the radio station. I want to give a quick shout out to them guys as well. They are some dedicated DJs. Every morning we got a DJ coming on doing a morning show. They're on there ritually every day, Monday through Friday. All you DJs are doing your thing in their demon radio. Thank you guys so much for taking your time out, spending it with us, because you guys, the DJs, are making, and the audience, is what making Inner Demon Radio such a success. So I want to quick shout out to you guys. Thank you for all you DJs and all you listeners that come and check out the shows. It's really, really appreciated. Whew. Outside of that, I think that's the fucking show there, Papa.
I think so. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight and all your feedback and your comments and your questions and sharing your stories.
Yes.
And your ideas and your opinions. That's what it's all about.
Now, are we
You're
going to be
talking with
on?
heathens. It's not just Sid and I, it's you guys too.
That's it.
Whether you're
Now,
a heathen or not.
are we going to be on next week? I know you got a busy week ahead of you. Are we going to be on next week, or are we taking
we'll
next
be
week
on.
off? Next Wednesday then?
Yep.
All right, so we'll be back, guys, next Wednesday. Be sure to be kind, love one another, and whoever's next to you, give them a great big hug and tell them how much you love them too as well. We'll catch you guys. Come here, Papa. We'll catch you guys next Wednesday for another episode of Talking with Heathens. You guys be safe, be kind, and we'll catch you guys all tomorrow, next week.
Have you been wanting to grow in your spiritual path? It's time to join the circle. Shia's Mentorship Circle is a place where we can learn and grow together. It's a private community that's committed to spiritual growth, group support, and learning. You can learn at your own pace with 24/7 access to a wide range of topics presented through videos, writings, and original content on all kinds of spiritual topics, and access to my ever-growing Book of Shadows. All spiritual paths and walks of life are welcome in this circle. On top of all that, Mentorship Circle members get free readings every Monday on my live show, discounts on live readings and workshops, classes, group therapy, and group chats for support and direct mentoring. Join today, get connected, and start living your best life. Learn more at ladyshia.com.
Mom, can I have a popsicle?
No, honey, you'll spoil your...
Hey parents, tired of those out-of-control kids? Throwing embarrassing tantrums wherever they go. At the grocery store, on the playground, even at the dinner table. You've had it with parenting, but wait, there is a solution. Introducing Nap Time, the latest, most effective tool for child tantrum prevention. It's simple. Just douse a rag with our patented Sleepy Time formula, place it over your child's cry hole, press and hold gently for 8 to 12 seconds, and presto, no more tantrum.
I was beginning to think adoption was the only way out. Then a friend of mine introduced me to Nap Time. It's never been so quiet around here.
The secret lies in Naptime's revolutionary fast-to-sleep formula. Developed by military-trained scientist doctors from NASA, Naptime's powerful molecules rush to the child's brain on contact, gently inducing instant tranquility.
This is chloroform.
Already put those wallet-draining crap factories out on the street? That's okay! Naptime works in any situation. On the golf course. An awkward blind date.
I had a really good time tonight.
It even works on pets.
After we had our first child here, we regretted it almost immediately.
We didn't know that she'd cry so much.
Talk about defective. But thanks to Naptime, our little Samantha here hasn't made a noise in weeks. I keep her in a shoebox.
Call now and we'll send you your very own 24-ounce bottle of Naptime solution for only 23 easy payments of $1.99. But wait, there's more! Act quickly and you'll also receive the all-new Dream Sack absolutely free. It's compact and portable for those on-the-go tantrums. Just cover it, tighten it, and forget about it. It's that simple.
We can't breathe good.
So if this looks familiar,
I feel pregnant.
then don't wait. Order today and join the millions of Americans who just can't stop saying,
Thanks, Naptime.
Thanks, Naptime.
Thanks, nap time.
Naptime, when they just won't shut up. Naptime is not legal in the following states: